I'm Prakhar Sharma, and I'm here to commence the Job Opportunities in Esports webinar series, which is brought to you by Esports Gaming Ecosystem Project, SK, which is an RDI project of SAMK. And I'm going to tell you a bit about what we do. And so, in case you were wondering who we are, we develop the regional know-how of esport and bring together people with different skills and expertise about gaming and esports. And in the middle of this, we do everything. So I can say that we have been involved in creating and promoting member participation in various activities and connecting experts and companies in this industry. Also, we are very interested in the startup scene. So we are involved in coaching and supporting the entrepreneurs in gaming. And this ecosystem of esport, it's about discovering various business possibilities in esports so that we can boost cooperation in the area, as I mentioned already, between experts and companies and even individuals. So we have a huge network of gaming enthusiasts, both on Discord and on social media channels. And throughout the time, we arrange these kind of events like webinars, tournaments, and whatnot. So that's basically what we are, and that's what we do. Today, we have Marianne Määtä from Female Gaming Finland, and we are going to talk about esports in general. I'm really excited to do this. Hello, Marianne.
Hello. Okay, so my name is Marianne Määtä and I am the president of Female Gaming Finland. And nice to meet you all. Is my camera showing?
Yes, it is.
Okay, good.
Okay, so Marianne.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about esports in general. I think there are some people in the audience who have very less experience and are very new to this scene. And they would really like to know from an industry expert like you about what exactly is esport about.
Yeah. So I'm gonna start about esports in general, like what it means. So esports, aka electronic sports, is taking competitive gaming to next level. So basically, you can play video games competitively, and you can also do it as a hobby. But I don't know if any of you guys have checked like esports tournaments online and stuff like this. But esports is also something that you can be doing. What you can do alone or in a group. Like, of course, it depends on the game, like how many players there is on a game. And usually the esports tournaments and stuff like that is done with computers or consoles. But of course, mobile games are often forgot, and people also organize tournaments on mobile games. And you can compete on different genres like FPS game, which means first-person shooter, or MOBA games, multiplayer, online battle arena, and stuff like that. And esports has grown a lot as an industry in last decade, and it still keeps growing. For myself, I see it as a future industry, especially when the technology keeps evolving and games just come more popular. And especially now that COVID is on loose, we can see that gaming industry is basically the only winner with this COVID pandemic. And esports as an industry offers lots of job opportunities also, like you can be a professional gamer, of course, but not so many people are that skilled, but you can also be a host or content creator for teams or something like that. And esports is nowadays also recognized in youth work, sports organizations, schools, etc. And myself, I am studying to be a social worker, and I think it would be also important to recognize esports in social work too.
That's really nice to know from you. Like that's a lot of information and so much in detail. Thanks a lot for sharing that with us. I hope some of people, at least, they must have understood the crux of it, and they can understand better what this is all about. Because usually people are mistaking esports with gaming, and they forget to realize that it is just a part of gaming industry as a whole. So I would like to ask you one thing, Marianne. You mentioned that everyone is playing these days computers and consoles, but I was reading the other day about some statistics, and it showed that so many new games and so many players are having their gaming sessions on their phone. So, what is your opinion about the mobile gaming scene? What do you think of it?
Myself, I count mobile gaming as video gaming also, of course, and I think too that mobile games are getting more and more popular because phone is with you like always. It is easy to play mobile games when you are waiting for something or stuff like that. But I have noticed that maybe more like better games are on mobile phones these days. Like, for example, the new game Genshin Impact was a huge deal on the PC and consoles, but it's also available on the mobile phone. And same with Among Us and stuff like that. So and when you play like Among Us, you can play together with PC players. So it's really cool.
Yeah, I think the crossplay feature is really benefiting these days. Just bringing everyone together, like destroying the boundaries of just playing on your own console or on your own platform, which is really great. And now I want to ask something about your personal gaming experience. And do you remember what was your first interaction in the world of gaming, like your first gaming memory?
Well, I started to play video games when I was like a little kid. My first console was Nintendo NES, and I remember playing Duck Hunt and Super Mario. Like I had the gun for Nintendo NES, so I just shot the ducks on duck hunting. It was fun.
But are you a passionate gamer yourself still? And do you have any favorite games that you still play?
Yeah, I play lots and lots of games, especially now that I have to work with Female Gaming Finland because I have to know all the games that are like on top right now that we can play them together with our members, and I just loved video games so. And I also played Overwatch in a team for like a year, but I had to leave it because I have so much stuff to do nowadays.
Yeah, I can imagine it takes a lot of time.
Yeah.
But I've heard that Overwatch is really popular in Finland, especially.
Yeah.
And I didn't know that you were playing in a professional team. That's really great to know.
Yeah.
So, Marianne, I also had one more question. That you mentioned about esports being recognized in youth work, sports organizations, schools.
Yeah.
But how important do you think is it for the young generation, which is in schools these days, like the kids, to be aware about it? And why? Why do you think it's important?
Well, I see it important because, like I said, it's a future industry, and also it is quite a huge industry right now. So it offers lots and lots of job opportunities for youngsters, and I think it is important for schools to recognize these possibilities and guide young people to get there.
That's true. Do you think that if in the future there can be something like a course about gaming in you're studying in high school or while you grow up, like these days they're teaching coding to the young pupils. Do you think gaming being one of them, like just learn about that? Wouldn't that be interesting?
Yeah, yeah, I think it is a possibility, and of course in Kajaani ammattikorkeakoulu we have this eSports business school already, so I think there will be more like that in the future.
Okay, yeah, I mean that's the wish of every gaming enthusiast to see that happening.
Yeah.
So Marianne, you mentioned, we introduced you in the beginning as you're from Female Gaming Finland.
Yep.
And would you like to talk about it and talk about your topic about the women and gender minorities in esports?
Yeah, so basically this is what my association does, but my association is not only for esports, that we are also interested in casual gaming, or if someone is just interested in gaming, we are for them. But first I'm going to talk about women and gender minorities in esports and how, because women and gender minorities still get discriminated in esports, and it affects a lot of things. So first I'm going to talk about the state of women and gender minorities in esports right now. So the esports scene in general is missing women gamers and players part of gender minorities as well. Nowadays, of course, we hope that there will be more of them, but there are not so many at the moment. And according to studies, women gamers and people part of gender minorities have lots of obstacles in their way when it comes to esports. And with these studies, I mean, for example, Usva Freeman from Turku University has studied this topic, and Christopher A. Paul from United States, and people like that.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah.
So, what was like that in their studies? I would like to know the challenges, because being a gamer myself, I think most of us are quite unaware of this fact, and it is really good that you are sharing it with us.
Yeah.
So can you continue and tell us more about it? Like, what challenges usually are there that most people don't see or fail to see?
Yeah. So next I have the challenges in here. So challenges faced by women and gender minorities. So female gamers have challenges in casual gaming already, but for them it may also be harder to take part in gaming events and to play games competitively. These challenges are lots of related to the discrimination. Female gamers often questioned because of their skills or something like that. Maybe your gamer tag is enough. Like if you have a feminine gamer tag, it is like, okay, we have a girl in our team, we will lose this game. So, yeah.
That's not fair, to be honest.
Yeah. And of course, if you join the voice chat or something and people recognize you're a female, they start to tell something, and you have to give gaming years of dedication and practice, and it's hard work to become a pro.
Yes, that's true.
Yeah. And for women and people part of gender minorities, it may be harder to even start to practice the skills that you need to become a professional gamer. And that is because the stuff that I mentioned earlier, that we often get questionized that can you actually play a game because you're a girl and stuff like that. And yeah, so yeah, our skills are often questioned only because of our gender. And I wanted to say also that there isn't a lot of role models for female gamers in esports, and I think it's a huge topic because it can affect like how big you dare to dream. Like if you don't see any female players in esports, do you think that you can get there by yourself?
Yeah, that's actually something to think about. Like the topics that you were mentioning.
Yeah,
I agree. Like it is a bit hard. I would say it's very hard.
yeah.
Can I ask you a question regarding this? Like, if you don't mind, I want to know if have you ever had to deal with any kind of discrimination on online abuse, being female, or like have you noticed it yourself when it has it happened to you? Since you were saying you played in Overwatch and you were a pro.
Well, my team was nice, so not with my team at least, but like when I have been playing with random people, I haven't get like any mean comments, so I'm lucky when it comes to that. But usually when I join the voice chat, and well, first of all, people think I'm a little boy because of my voice, but but when they find out I'm a girl, they start hitting on me. Like,
Okay.
are you the player girlfriend I've been looking for so long? And stuff like that. And I remember actually playing Overwatch when this guy said to me, like, you're the only female I've ever seen that actually knows how to play games. And I was like, okay, like, maybe positive for me, but it's not nice to say that about all female players.
I can understand it can get a bit annoying. Actually, a lot of annoying. Like experiencing these things, it's not easy, and like facing them. And the work that you are doing, it's actually pretty great, and it's really appreciable.
Yeah. And also, I actually wanted to add here that people have been studying lots of women gamers' skills compared to male players, and there isn't anything like any differences. For example, Rabindra Ratan and her companies have been studying this in year 2015 with League of Legends. So basically, when female players play games or have been playing them like a similar amount with guys, their skills are just as equal.
Yeah, like that's true. I don't think that gender has anything to do with your skills.
Yeah.
Online, especially when this is such a universal platform, such a universal medium where you just have to take an avatar in the game and do what you do the best, play.
Yeah.
I don't think that gender should matter, and it is sad that even like in 2020 we are having these kind of problems. But that's where I think your organization comes in, right?
Yeah. Yeah, so next I'm gonna talk a bit about our association. So we are geared towards women and gender minorities of all ages who are only interested in video games. First, I'm gonna talk about the founding of Female Gaming Finland. So basically in summer 2019, I met some female players through Overwatch, and we discussed a lot about the topics like why isn't there anything organized for women gamers and gender minorities, and that's when we decided to found Female Gaming Finland erewhile. And FGF became an official association in November 2019. And like I said, the idea about founding FGF came through our own experiences as female gamers. And we really thought that activity like this was needed because all of us had been like quite active on social media on different female gamer groups. And we often see the comments like related to the discrimination of women gamers and gender minorities, like how hard it is to play games as one of them. So we decided to organize something that would give them a safe place to try out video games and to practice them in peace.
I guess we are experiencing. Yeah. I want to ask you something regarding this. I want to know how important is it to help grow the number of women and girls in tech and esports, according to you, and to help increase awareness around women in esports. I know that you have been explaining it, and your organization works for that. But are there some things like morally that are missing, that people are missing to understand, and they don't consider it when they think about this topic?
Okay, interesting question. Well, I think it is important that we would get more female gamers and women working in technology industries, because it is often like a bit westernized. So it may be harder for them to even think about joining something or working with games or stuff like that.
True. Okay, that's quite interesting. We can move on with your presentation. So, bye. Yeah, I think I got my answers here.
Yeah. So
I asked it too soon.
Yeah. So this dia is like why did we found our association, and lots of this I already told you about, but I want to say here that improvement has happened in the last years, but there's still much to be done when it comes to women or female players with gaming.
And maybe you could tell us more about what you offer, what the organization is in for.
Yeah, so we organize events mainly online at the moment. We have had, for example, online gaming events for people on our Discord server, and they have been quite popular. And of course, in the future, we hope to organize more like physical events, maybe, and like a traditional LAN events and stuff like this.
I think we all missed the physical events, especially this year. Like the Gamescom, the E3, and the tournaments in general. So
yeah. And we are actually planning to have like permanent gaming events, like weekly ones in different cities for women gamers of all ages. So I'm really looking forward to that.
Yeah, that's actually sounds really good. I would say that if you have something weekly, it's like the weekly football or ice hockey games.
Yeah.
And I went to like a basketball game here in Kouvola, and it was pretty great. So I think if we have these kind of tournaments, it's actually a good way of involving people and making them know that, like, clearing these boundaries which you mentioned before for what your organization stands for. I think that's a good job. I think we can talk about memberships, because we have some questions coming in about it, which I can ask you later on.
Okay, so here I'm talking about like who can be our member. But first of all, everyone can be our member, but we have different tiers for that. So our official member can be one who belongs to our target group, is a female or belongs to gender minorities, and you can just be interested in video gaming and join us. And then we have a supportive member. Supportive members are the ones who are not part of our target group, but are willing to support our cause and the meaning of our association. And our young members are people who are under 18 years old. And right now we have approximately 65 members, but we get new applications every day. And on our social media servers, we have much more. Like, for example, on our Instagram, we have almost 600 followers.
I checked your Instagram. It's pretty great. I like the aesthetic and like how the content of it.
Thank you.
I want to ask you one thing.
Okay.
Like you said, anyone can join your organization. So
Yeah.
it has to be girls, right? Just to be clear. Because I like the idea. I support the cause.
No, you can be like supportive member.
Okay,
and,
that's
yeah. And we also our events are like some of them are only for our target group, but some of them are like for everyone. That also male players can join.
yeah, because I think there are people who are doing this discrimination and stuff, but majority of us, we would like to have a healthy atmosphere.
Yeah, of course.
So I think it would be great.
Yeah, and that's why we want to also keep male players also with us. This is not only for female gamers.
Okay. That's good to know. I was wondering about it the whole time, and I was confused. So that was the question. That was a personal question from my side. Thanks for answering. And we have a question coming on our live chat. You've mentioned here that for the first year there is no member fee. Yeah. But how much does it cost? Someone is asking, how much does it cost to be a member of Female Gaming Finland?
Of course, the cost is decided in our annual fall meeting, which is actually next week. But we try to keep the fee like quite low. For example, for next year, we thought that like it would be something like 20 euros for the whole year. But we'll see next week. But of course,
that's good.
Yeah, and of course, you mentioned our members can. Okay.
sorry. Yeah. I think. No. Go ahead.
Yeah, and of course, our members can vote in the meetings, like if they are not okay with the prices, and they can affect them too.
And like I was gonna ask, like, since you mentioned that you have your Instagram page, maybe once you decided, you can let people who are interested, as our audience is pretty interested, they're asking for that, you can let them know about the costs and everything. But just to be clear, for the first year there is no member fee. So whoever is interested, do join this initiative and support the cause. And I think there's the page about Instagram and other social media.
Yeah.
Pages. Do you have any? Do you want to promote it or anything?
Well, we are a new association, but we are growing a lot, and this would be a great time to join us, because I think after a year we'll be already a huge deal. So now would be a great time.
I have a question coming. One more. They were just gonna ask, how do you promote Female Gaming Finland and get more gamers to join? I guess this page is the answer.
Yeah. So, you can just share our social media pages, and of course you can be our member on our official website, which is the Female Gaming Finland fee.
Yes, this one.
Yeah.
Who's interested? Okay, so now that we have covered the whole topic, we have a lot of questions to discuss, and I would like to ask you. Someone is asking us. They want to know. Could you please tell us more about how you became a pro player?
That is a good question, actually. I belong to this Facebook page called Overwatch Finland, and someone asked there like they are having this tournament, and they one of their players like had to leave it, so they asked if someone could join and fill them. So I decided like a lot, like should I join or not, should I go and try it. But then I decided to go, and that's where it all started, and that's actually where I met those people with who we did this Female Gaming Finland stuff. So it was one of the best decisions of my life, I think.
Yeah, that's great. I wish like this is like a good story example for everyone. Don't hold out. If you think that you can do it, just apply and try it out at least.
Yeah, I agree.
I want to know, like myself, that were there any tryouts or anything for the team that you were applying, and was it only a female team? Like, was it all like all members female members, or was it a mixed team?
It was a mixed team.
Okay.
Well, I can't remember if we had a tryout for that. Maybe like 2 games or something, but like the tournament was coming so fast and they needed a player. But after that, when I joined the teams and have been really working with the team stuff, so most of the teams have tryouts, and some tryouts last for a month, for example. Like you have to try out for a month if you, before you get accepted to a team. So it is something different, but
everyone who is not that aware of the whole selection process about esports teams, they all wonder this question: are there tryouts, or you just have to be really good and wait for someone to recognize you while you're playing online and ask you to make a team? So that question answers that, especially for me, because I thought it like that. So
yeah.
Thank you for telling us about that.
Okay.
And I have few questions about, for example, this one's interesting. If we take other sports in account, for instance, in football, it's fair to say that women's team aren't quite on the same standard as the men's yet.
Yeah.
As a whole competition, but these days we have seen that it's improving, and through things like Women's World Cup, Women's Euros, and like Champions League, whatnot, it's getting more awareness as well. Would you say it is also the case in esports?
Well, I don't know. I maybe don't want to compare esports to like traditional sports, because in traditional sports it is a bit different when it comes to women and men because of different physiology. But in esports we can all train together and compete together. So. And I already mentioned the studies about the equal skills in gaming. So it is a bit different compared to traditional sports.
Mm-hmm. Thank you for answering that. And I agree with that. I think physiology has a big part to do in the traditional sports, which is not true for esports in as equal important as traditional ones. And I think this is a platform which is uniform and for everyone, universal, and like it's just your passion, I would say.
Yeah.
And how good you are, obviously, if you're playing pro. I also want to ask, like, for example, we're seeing these days games like not these days. Lara Croft has been there for a long time, but the new series, Lara Croft Tomb Raider, and Last of Us, and like there are like gender open roles in Assassin's Creed these days. So these kind of games, which are more for the gaming audience, do you think how important is it for games to be like that, to give the freedom for the player to choose what they're doing? Do you think it has any significance, or it has nothing to do with this topic?
Well, of course, we have discussed a lot like the lack of women characters in video games, like they are often side characters, but used to be. But I think they are also adding more women characters on video games these days. And but I think it's a bit like, what do you like? Like, I know women gamers who always want to play as a man.
Okay.
In video games, but I like to also always play as a woman when I play video games. So I think the best is when you can choose which one you want to be.
Yeah, and like for example, the recent launch of Assassin's Creed Valhalla, I've heard that in that game you the dialogue options are also ambiguous. Like you can basically, it goes the same for both of them. They've made it through like that, which in my opinion is a big step, and I think it's a good way of starting things, because before I was also noticing that in some games, for example, you take a character which doesn't suit the story line. The dialogues and everything, it just makes you feel like not to play with that character, and it can I think it can affect the opinion of the player too. So now that they're trying to make these ambiguous dialogues and stuff, I think it's a good start, I would say.
Yeah, and I think personally, like for example, Horizon Zero Dawn is a perfect example of an excellent woman character in a game.
Totally agree. It's one of my, like last year I played 167 hours. I think Horizon Zero Dawn. It's one of the best games I've ever played. It's a bit difficult, I would say, without the fast travel and everything, but it's definitely worth playing. And the second part is coming now. Next year
on PS5.
I'm really waiting for that. We have a comment, actually, not a question this time. So our audience really loves the Female Gaming Finland logo, and I agreed with that as well. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, I agree. We actually made a new logo like not so long ago, but our logo maker is called Pyttis on social media.
Okay.
So you can.
Does it have any meaning behind it?
Well, yeah. We wanted to put the logo like there is a woman, of course, but the other part of the face is black. Like it means that you can be anything. Like it refers to gender minorities. The side of that face.
That's really considerable of you. Now that I know the meaning, I like it even more.
Okay.
Someone is asking, can you comment on The Last of Us 2?
Last of Us 2. Okay, well, I'm not so a fan of gameplay where you just have to sneak, but I love the story.
Okay, you like?
Yeah, the story was great, but the gameplay felt a bit boring in times. Like the missions were a bit repetitive, in my opinion, but otherwise, great game.
Yeah, they put a lot of effort into making 2 female characters in the game.
Yeah.
And showing the side of both of them. I just finished playing it like 2 months ago, so it was a good experience. But yeah, I agree with you. It was a bit too much drawn. Like it could have ended before.
Yeah, but I also like the story. Like everything is not so black and white. Like people are not only evil. Like we are only people who make bad things. In times. So it was great.
It's pretty realistic.
Yeah.
And we have a serious question coming. So one of the people in our audience, they are saying that, hi, I'm currently studying Finnish. However, my Finnish skills are not good enough to work yet. Are there job possibilities in esports where it is possible to use mostly the English language in Finland? Do you have any comments about that?
Well, I think there is. I mean, in my opinion, most Finns can speak English, especially in gaming industry and technology industries. But of course, like most of the video games are in English, and gaming related stuff is in English. And we also found this cool webpage which shows the open gaming industry positions in Finland. And there's actually quite a lot of them. And I checked them out, and none of them says like you need to be able to speak Finnish. So I think you can work in English with gaming industry in Finland.
Yeah, I think it is one of the few industries which offer the international students who come here to have some kind of like chance, I would say. Like myself, I am having this really nice internship where I'm learning a lot, and like it basically deals with my passion. And I would say that I don't feel like I need Finnish for this. It would be nice to know, but I feel like all my colleagues and everything that is happening, even this webinar that that's going on, it's in English. So I think this is one field which doesn't stop anyone for here.
Yeah.
But since you are the expert, it's really important to know about your view. So thanks a lot for sharing that.
Yeah.
And few more questions. So basically, what our audience wants to know is that what is your opinion on all female teams? Like, I know there are games which, like for example, Starlight 2, I think StarCraft, which are mostly aimed for female audience, and the teams over there are all female, or the players at least. What is your opinion on that?
Well, I think they are good for now because, like we talked earlier, it may be difficult for female players to join the tournaments and stuff. Like for example, last year when VK Lion won the Hearthstone Grand Championship, like she told in her winning speech, like how she was in a queue for a tournament and someone told her like, you are a girl, you shouldn't be here, this isn't for you. So it can be quite tough to join the tournaments if you are like only female there. So it is easier for us to like go there if they are all female teams. But I hope in the future we can all compete together. So that is our goal too for our association.
Mm-hmm. That's really insightful view on that. I think it's something to think about, to be honest. Because if there are teams with like men, I would say why not for women? I think it's in esports it shouldn't matter.
Yeah.
Okay, one more question coming in. Do you think that women and men have different strengths and weaknesses when it comes to gaming or esports?
No, I don't think so. I mean, I actually read a study before this webinar with what talk about like gaming skills when it comes to women and men, and it talked also about these topics that it is hard for women because we like underestimate our skills often when it comes to gaming. So actually it was a study called Stand By Your Man, an examination of gender disparity in League of Legends. So you might want to check it out. It talks about these topics.
Okay, that must be a good read. Could you send me the link sometime? I could share it in our social media channels so that our audience can take a look and read more about it. I think we are approaching. Okay, you already sent it.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna share this in our social media pages and tell the audience more about it. And I think it is safe to ask that are there any typical men's or women's game that you feel like which are still continuing this problem? Like, do you think that right now all games can be played by anyone, or there are still games which are mostly focused on a specific community or specific part of the community, like just for men or just for female?
Well, of course, there are like studies like some games are mostly played by men or women, but I don't think so. I feel like everyone can play what they prefer, and you shouldn't like make make points with that.
I agree with you. I think that those games are a bit old-fashioned, and even if they are like being played right now, everyone can play anything that they want to.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think that was all. We don't have any more questions for now, and we covered a lot of topics, I believe.
Yeah.
But would you like to say something to our audience? Most of the people who's registered for this webinar, they were female audience. So I think that they want to hear from you, and you can maybe motivate them, or I don't know, like motivate and tell them to follow their dreams or do what they want. Please feel free.
Yeah. So first of all, thanks for joining this webinar. It was really nice to talk to you about this kind of stuff. And if you are dreaming about joining the gaming scene or industry in Finland, or like some industry related to programming or stuff like that, just do it. It is better if we get more female to work in these industries, and we can make female workers in these industries a little bit more known. So we'll get just more and more of us here.
Yes, and like if you follow this positive cause, and I would definitely would like you all to go and at least see on their website or on their social media pages, and if you feel like, do subscribe to them.
Yeah,
because it is a positive cause, and it is very important to make sure that there is this equilibrium maintained.
Yeah, and of course, our association also tries to help female to get their work on gaming industry and programming or stuff like that. So you should definitely join.
Yes. So I would like to thank you a lot, Marianne. Thanks for joining us, and thanks for sharing your views about the esports in general, and especially about this topic.
Thank you for inviting me.
No, it was our pleasure to have you on the show and to be on the pilot episode. And our audience is also saying thank you for coming for participating in this webinar, Marianne.
Yeah,
I think they enjoyed a lot.
Okay, it was great to be here.
Yeah. So I can conclude our webinar by telling you all about what we have next. It was great pilot episode, I believe, and this was not the last one. We have a lot of different topics coming up ahead, and here is a small description of them. So today we had esports in general, and we would be covering all these different topics and talking about them and the job opportunities in these things and how things go on. So don't forget to register like you did for this episode, as we will be posting it on our social media channels. And on the next episode, we already have Ville Pelkola in the queue, and he would be happy to share us about everything that is happening in event organizing. He's a part of the organization Gaming Barracks, which organizes tournaments in SAMC especially, and nowadays they are involved in having tournaments both in like Kymenlaakso region in Kouvola and Kotka. So don't forget to miss it. And for more information about our events and to register to more of these webinars, I would request you to go to our webpage. And if you are interested in gaming, then do register as a member. You will get all the information as soon as it comes out. And we have our ever-growing network on Facebook, Discord, and Twitter. So don't forget to join that, especially the Discord ones. We are having sometimes just playing evenings where we all meet up and we play Among Us or different games. And it would be nice to know more of you. Thanks a lot for joining us in, and see you guys again. Thank you. This is your host, Brucker, signing off. Bye-bye. See you next week.